How is it going since the last time we talked?
After the last episode that we recorded, I went to Croatia, to my hometown. And if you live far away from your family and from your hometown, then you know when you go back, it's going to be a lot to see every person, friend, family. Then you have a lot of errands and appointments, hairdresser, Dentist, I did. Everything perfect, if you were interested. My oral health is amazing. And then on the way back to Belgium, I went to Venice for 2 days to the Venice Biennale, which is the big art event. And it's amazing. All around Venice, you have exhibitions from 100 countries. There's so much going on, and I loved it. I would really recommend to go there for a few days because then you can see more and you can take it more chill. And you also traveled recently, no?
I've been to yoga retreat. We were in France, in Normandy, and that was quite special because recently in my life, everything was a bit shaken. This really kind of reminded me, outside of that, to ground you and everything. It was more to slow down. In general, the pace of our living is very fast, especially in our academic lifestyle. We are not having 9-to-5 jobs. And then also you're always multitasking in your life. While you walk, you call your parents. While I clean, I sometimes talk to my brother because then the cleaning also passes very fast. But then I noticed I'm not doing single task. It's just many of them at the same time. I left my phone on the side. I was not using it only in the morning, and in the evening I would check if there is anything. My screen time dropped by 80%. That was nice.
How was the return from the retreat to the, should I say, real life?
I think it was fine.
We put our nervous system all times in a fighting mood. Doesn't know that there is no danger. I don't have to do 20 things at a time, and how we can indeed slow down. Very small first step. No phone in the morning. It has so much positive effect on you if you don't look at that fast scrolling and what's happening in the world. It's already so good for your body and brain.
You have an update from the last episode.
You should ask Mirna. She has seen me jumping around the hallways at work, you know.
Yeah, nobody is ever that happy at work.
There is still someone that is jumping around when their experiment works. And I was telling everyone, I felt that the mood of my group changed. Everybody was smiling. My PI was like, no, we can do so many things about it, like the things we can achieve. And everybody is inspiring in terms of even their experiments. From now on, everything will work. That was the mood. And I am, of course, so happy. But I know for the listeners, it feels 2 weeks ago, I talked about my failed experiment and now suddenly my experiments worked. But no, it took me 8 months to come to this point. But I'm very happy. I have to be in the lab every day, taking care of my frogs and grow them. And then I hope one day I can talk about it more, what it actually is and why I'm so excited and what it means for the science community and patients. And I'm very excited. Today, we wanted to talk about how we are doing so many things during PhD, that you think that your title is PhD and your research, but in fact, you have to deal so many things on a daily basis. You're a graphic designer, manager, teacher, finance manager, statistician, student, technician, and all these titles that comes with it, and challenges and how we find its effect on our PhD and academic journey.
And nervous system.
Nervous system regulation.
While you were talking about this nervous system regulation and multitasking, I was really thinking about our lab work, how you're doing your experiments, but you're also listening to something. You're reading your emails on your phone. You're preparing for a meeting. We are always multitasking.
100%. And I'm not sure how to give up my earphones and music and podcast while I'm doing experiments alone.
It would be so boring.
Maybe we should make one experiment with 3 of us and say to each other, okay, this day, no earphones, no music, no podcast, no anything. And then we see what's going to happen in our update.
I like it.
We will let you know about the results.
And maybe you as well, if you're listening, want to try and just give yourself a challenge and let us know what you think and how it was for you as well.
But there are people that, how do I explain this? So it's a challenge for, I guess, white males, that they take a super long flight without any entertainment. They don't watch movies, they don't listen to anything, they don't read a book, they just sit.
Wow.
Some people do it in the lab as well. They just do the experiment and that's it.
Were you aware of what you were getting yourself into in terms of this academic life or PhD multitasking and what comes with it?
Not really. I thought that it will be only about research. And of course, I knew there will be some teaching involved. But what I didn't know is that you don't get any preparation for this teaching. You start your PhD and they're like, oh, here is a master student to supervise. And you think, wait, I was a master student yesterday. How do I do this? It's a lot of things that we have to learn on the daily basis without any training, just trial and error.
I agree. For me, it was mostly thinking that it's way more serious than it is. It's not so deep. It's not so serious. Of course, yes, you're doing a serious job, but everyone is. And another thing for me was that you need to be a top-notch student in order to do a PhD. And that's really not the case. Thinking that maybe people that just know everything in theory will do the best research with you, which is really not the case.
So you mean street smart preferred over textbook smart? I think if you ask people outside of academia what a professor is doing, they will say, oh, it's a teacher that is teaching at the university. And actually what we do is much more than that. And teaching is a small part of it. During my bachelor, I didn't imagine it would be like that. Maybe I also imagined myself, I will be teaching at the university. But I already during the master in Turkey got the glimpse of it that no, it's more than that. You have to manage so many things. And on a daily basis, you have many skills that you need to grow during the process. They will not teach you. You just learn it like errors and fails. Now there is this, of course, AI tools and growing is faster. Everything is more accessible and we have to catch up with it also. So it's not only that you learn things, not enough. You have to every day really develop yourself even more and catch up with what is happening. It's never ending.
Yeah, also one of the things is how much admin stuff you're doing. As a PhD student, you're still fine. You're going through emails, project writings, in papers and so on. But when you become postdoc, it's another level of project management in general. And then when you're a professor, there is so little teaching and so much admin stuff, networking, writing projects and writing grants. And then there is a part of the teaching. But this is maybe something that is also a very big misconception. Professors are project managers.
Also finance managers. They have to find money all the time. You have to find your own money to do research, to pay your own salary. Grant writing takes so much time.
You need to sustain. And that's the rough path of academics. Of course, we are also talking about our experiences. Maybe in other countries is a bit different. You secure yourself a position. And then sometimes even assistant professors have a permanent position because they know that later on they will grow and they're going to stay in academia.
The exciting part about project writing is the project itself, but then you have the administration indeed, like the budgeting, the risk, all the boring stuff.
You know what I also don't like? Ordering stuff. This is killing me. I just don't want to search for it. I want to say to someone, this is the chemical I need, deliver it.
Yeah. It is very unsexy.
And keeping track of all of these things that you need. When you're a student, you just use up everything from somebody and you don't know where it comes from. But now you are responsible for absolutely everything you use in the lab, and we use a lot of different things. So you have to be aware at each moment if something is running low.
Some people have lab managers and then they take care of everything that is in the lab, like consumables, and then you don't have to think about it.
What skill that you developed during these years that you are more proud of, that you did not have it before, you didn't think you would even have it?
Something that changed for me, I have problems asking for help. I find it super difficult. I'm the person that's like, I'm going to figure it myself. Even if it takes me months, I'm going to do it by myself, but that's not possible. You cannot work like that. So during my PhD, I really learned to ask for help. Please ask for help.
Did you implement this in a private life as well?
No, we are still working on that part.
So for me, it's being patient, understanding that not everything can come immediately. And there is going to be many fails and ups and downs until there is an actual result in general. It doesn't have to be just a research result, anything. Also with people, you just need to have a bit of patience, a bit of faith. That was my PhD. Also, I'm coming from Balkan, and here we communicate very straightforward, not necessarily rude. It's just straightforward. You say what you think, what you mean, and other people are not questioning your facial expressions, your tone. It's just what you said, that's what you mean. And this is how I was also communicating here. But then I noticed that in Belgium, everything was a bit more polished, a bit more thoughtful. And that confused me a lot. Then I learned that actually I just need to turn it around and use different words, which sometimes can be annoying that you need to adapt these things. There is one of the big things, cultural communication. I was recently talking to my professor that is from the UK. He was telling me how sometimes some students from abroad, they will say something straightforward. He said, but you can then use a word like, I believe, I think, yes, I agree with you completely. But maybe in their language, that's not even a filler word in order to be polite. Maybe we use completely different filler words to make a sentence that is polished. So people that are speaking second language English, this can just be translating directly from your own language. So it could be that the way we learned also how to express ourselves is direct translating from our language. People are just not aware of it. It's not that you think bad or whatever. It's just that no one is thinking about this concept of just translating from your own language in a polite way, and then came across rude. Like, I'm sorry, I'm trying.
Also, in terms of I'm sorry, I say when something happens to someone, I say, I'm sorry about it. I am not saying it in terms of I apologize. I feel sad for the situation that you are in. And Belgian people always respond to me, why? You have nothing to do with that. What? I'm just saying that I'm sorry for your situation. I'm not apologizing it to you. I was like, I'm sorry for... It's like, why? You didn't do anything. Come on.
Yeah.
Literal translation.
But now you can have a bit of more understanding for that as well.
Another thing, nobody prepares you in the line of communication and the international environment is, I don't know if I want to open the Pandora's box, but politics. I was not prepared for it. I consider myself a diplomatic person and I consider everyone nice and understanding and with a common sense that we're all nice to each other. But then, in fact, during my academic journey, I noticed it is all kind of the social dynamics of politics, of hierarchies, of egos. I don't know how to explain it better. And you have to find your way to align yourself in it, not to be rude or like a shark to find your way in, but also not to be so naive to get advantage of. So this was something that in the beginning I didn't know I have to be aware of it, but I learned it the hard way, let's say.
I would say that this is literally adulting. In every job, everything is about politics or diplomacy, the way you talk, the way you network, people that you know. So I think this is really just an adulting life, and we jump very quickly from being students to being
politicians.
Employed.
Okay. I can say for myself, I never had a job before PhD. I was just a student. I didn't have even a summer job, right? And I think people that do, they can handle it much better, like you probably. You can tell us more. I think you learn how to handle yourself in this kind of environment and how to deal with people.
Not to expose my parents and the child labor. I was working since I was 11. So I'm so sorry. My parents own bakeries and we were always helping during summer season. What I got mostly is being serious about the job. Everything that you do, you're working as if you're working for yourself. I know that in research, we do work for ourselves and for our results. But any job that comes as a side job for us, I take it so seriously as if it's for me. Even if I'm doing a task for someone else, I would always make it as if I'm gonna gain something from it. And then we had also many employees, and you need to learn how to communicate with them and how to handle many different characters as well. One of the things that I remember, and I vividly remember it, when I was very young, I was teaching another adult. I was very young and I was feeling like, come on, why am I teaching you? I was doing it every day. And then one day she again did it wrong and I lost it. And I told her, are you stupid? And then I got a slap from her husband.
This is almost traumatic.
This is, solved with my therapist. It's okay. That also taught me something that stuck with me for a long time. Why did I get slapped just because here trying to explain you something and you're not getting it for this amount of time? And then I didn't have this patience that maybe I just gained during my PhD 20 years after. But that also taught me something, that you need to learn the way you're going to teach someone as well. That's one of the skills skills that we gain. It's adapting your teaching depending on who is in front of you. Try to find ways to deliver your knowledge to someone else. It cannot be that I'm looking at you and I say, you need to give this amount of money back. And she's like, but I don't get it. And I say the same thing. And I'm keep on repeating the same sentence instead of actually shaping how to give you examples to teach you. So that was my very bad teaching moment as well when I was very young.
Well, let's say you didn't have to teach that in that age.
What do you think about this approach of shaping the way you teach depending on the person in front of you?
I think it's necessary because every student, every person is different. And we've seen it through these years that we were PhDs and postdocs, how every student is different and how you need to approach them. And that's fair to me. You cannot just have your own way and expect that everybody will be able to follow it. You need to have some flexibility and be able to observe the type of person that you're dealing with. And I think with time, we are learning more how to do that. We are more experienced, but also with time, we are older. So the age gap between us and the students is getting larger and larger. And then maybe we don't understand that generation anymore. I don't get how they communicate. So that's something to figure out as well.
That's also true. But remember, in our generation, even when we were in the elementary school, we had all the same education taught to us in the same class with so many people. Now it is changing. So there were kids that were struggling, but in fact, they were geniuses, but they are just not fit for learning the way we learn. But luckily, it's now changing. And thinking back and applying that to nowadays, indeed, it has to be in a way tailored. I will be going now a bit in a different direction. We have all these things, daily admin work, struggles, lab work, and all. And I know 3 of us have interests in creativity, art, and are we able to apply it to our academic life? Because I love crafting and arts and knitting, crochet, painting, and I grew up doing those. And in fact, I am crafting the science I'm doing. It's like a fun craft project sometimes in terms of even the hypothesis, dreaming about it, that I want to do that, and you're actually doing it. And then you put everything together into a figure or a presentation and you make it a story. And then you tell your story. I love it. I see it like that, and I really like the creative part of it when I can apply. What do you think?
I agree with you. I also like this part, but for me, it's a bit different. I don't like the crafty part. I'm more of a thinker and concept thinking, that kind of thing. So I like to design experiments or indeed design the story, thinking about it in that way. And saying I'm not a crafter, I also can admit openly I'm not so crazy about lab work. Sorry if it's controversial.
Everybody feels it.
It's not so controversial, but people can tell us in the comments. From this creative side, for me, it's similar, like creating the project, creating the idea, lots of reading and taking bits and then making something your own. The other thing is writing. I really love writing. A lot of people didn't like their writing of the thesis. I love that process. Putting things together, drafting things first, figure making.
The putting everything together and the storytelling and making the figures. It's very nice. And the lab work, I like it if I'm really motivated about it. And there is a correlation between my motivation and the output. There is a part of me inside that I actually don't want to do that day. It will never work. So sometimes I fake that I want it. I am telling myself, I actually want to do that.
That's a good approach.
To myself.
You can advise it, I think.
Yes.
I'm working with LCMS. If something goes wrong, the troubleshooting is such a pain. And then you have sometimes, if you're lucky, someone in the group who really loves doing troubleshooting and going through everything, every detail, because there are so many pieces also in the instrument that you need to change or you need to find out where is actually the mistake. But when you don't have that type of person and you're usually responsible one, especially if you're in a smaller group, then you go through the whole troubleshooting yourself. You can lose days of your experiments just trying to fix the instrument.
There you go. You're also a handyman. Another title. I love that where we work is there are these core facilities like single cell core, bioimaging core, proteomics core. And when you need something, when you need to even design an experiment or optimize any experimental protocol, they help you.
Indeed, we have to clarify that where we work, we are super lucky because you have so much support. I worked before in other labs, and compared to this, come on. So I think people that start here will become so spoiled if they go anywhere else. From a big institute to a smaller group, it's a big challenge.
You need to figure it out yourself. Many things. You come across with many manuals as well on how to. It's just not on YouTube.
Yes.
If someone is hearing this and really likes troubleshooting in LCMS, please make a series of how to.
Oh my God, imagine there is a podcast for each machine, like how to troubleshoot HPLC or LCMS, how to troubleshoot
And 7 listeners.
microscopy. I would listen.
Yeah.
You know those YouTube videos of how to clean your washing machine? I watch those.
That has more views, I hope, than 7.
I go to YouTube for any kind of thing. How to do whatever experiment, I literally Google it and I go to YouTube. How to analyze this in whatever, I always go to YouTube. Please make more videos like that.
You also watch YouTube shorts.
Yes, I do. And actually, it is a hook, and I am hooked because they put a little part of their big video, and sometimes I find it interesting or I'm curious what is more, and I go to their profile and I watch the video. So it is a hook that hooks me.
Do whatever, do whatever, do whatever. Do whatever, do whatever.
Slowly coming to the end. We talked also in between, but what is your favorite part and least favorite part of all these titles you have during your academic life? We hinted them, but I'm curious to hear. Or what do you find hardest in your academic life?
Hardest, I would say, for me, it was to choose even to stay in academia. Lots of questions in case you want to pursue what you love, not just because of money. It's more because of stability that you don't get with academic lifestyle. Choosing between stability and passion, which we can hint one of the future episodes. And my favorite part is actually working with students.
I don't know if I would dare to call mentoring, but I like to help students to figure out what they actually like and what they're good at and how they can get to where they want to be. I think that's really nice. And I like writing projects, coming up with ideas, designing experiments. Love it. What I don't like, but I like that I'm learning a lot from it, is this politics and people managing the conflicts, whatever. It's really hard for me, but I think I'm learning so much every day for this. So it's neutral, let's say.
It's very cliche what I will say. Work-life balance. Let me explain. I think we do not have a clear division. I do not have it. I'm sure you also do not have it fully, that my brain is always on in terms of what is at work. My animals, I'm thinking even now because I have to go later to the lab, or my mood of the evening is very much affected of my day at work. I do not have yet that division. Or if I have a presentation, I have it in my dream. I already presented 5 times in my dream beforehand, the actual presentation. And I don't know if it's necessarily needed that you have to divide it. Maybe when you want to make a family and such, it will be more important. Now we are young, wild, and free. So let's see when the time comes if this will be possible. But I don't know when this will change, or will it ever change, or if this is me or what the work we're doing requires.
Maybe it will not need to change necessarily. Maybe you will just be able to multitask.
Yes.
On that note, actually what I like about academia is flexibility that we have. And when I think about 9-to-5 jobs, I have shivers.
But it feels like now when you say it as if we work from 11 to 2. No, we work sometimes 8 a.m. till 10 p.m.
You can also come at 11 or before 11. It just depends on you. If you're a person that likes to come at 8 a.m., you're going to come at 8 a.m. It's just the flexibility that comes with it. For me, it's perfect. If there is nothing that depends that day on you, you can leave earlier. You can schedule your life around it. But then the hard part indeed is that we don't have clear division of work and our private life. The important part is nervous system regulation.
Actually, what we like about our jobs is that specifically that we have so many roles, that it's dynamic, and we like that it's us, like that we don't have this boundary, right? Would you be bored if you had a job that you live there? It's not you?
Yes, I would be very bored.
So then the next question is, what would you be if you were not doing this?
Pragmatically, the other path was being a medical doctor, but let's put that apart. Creatively, like an architect or something in fashion and design. But I would definitely be making something with my hands. That's actually what we do right now too. Making something nice and creative, or a singer.
I was actually waiting for you to say that because you had some singing experience and stage performances.
Yes, but that was already during my master's and such. But when I was growing up, as everyone, I would go on the sofa and my deodorant would be my microphone and I would give everyone all the time concerts and I would film myself and such all the time. I would close my eyes and I would think I'm on a stage and people are listening to me. That would be a nice life.
You know what's funny now that you said this? I remember that when I was a child, me and my brother, we had a podcast basically. Our parents had a mic. We were recording on little cassette, but it was about toys. I don't know, but we had a podcast.
So cool.
We need
Yes.
this.
I need to ask my mom if this exists.
I would be a dancer. I had anyway in my life a crossroad where I was thinking if I should study something in science or going to a dance academy. I
Very
think that
close
will be.
paths. Imagine one day you have too much money. Would you open a dance school? It's so cool.
No, but I want to open wellness. I'm now all about nervous system regulation.
Oh my God.
We will tell you more about the science. Look, I don't like nonfiction books, you know. I don't like psychological books. And I was researching about books about nervous system regulation to read. So imagine how hooked I am.
Yeah, you don't like self-help books.
No, I self-help myself. What about you, Mirna? Other than little podcasters?
What I like the most, always to be informed, read stuff, visit stuff, see stuff. I would like to be like a journalist or a reporter or something like that. Or a curator, again, just going around, seeing what I like and putting it together, directing it into something.
You would be a good critical reviewer. You go to the shows, theater shows, and then you sit and then you write critics.
But actually, people don't know who you are. Michelin, but make it for arts.
Do whatever, do whatever.
It was a pleasure, this chat with you. I really enjoyed all the insights that you have to daily life of academia. Okay, thank you for listening. We are Burcu, Mirna, and Ardiana, and this is Do Whatever.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Woo.
Do whatever.